Hey everybody, how's it going? Skylar here. Let's make sure we're live. In this video, I did want to talk about hyperinflation a little bit, all the money we've been printing, and kind of why we haven't seen crazy prices yet, as well as how Bitcoin, how that could benefit Bitcoin, and we'll kind of go over a couple things. This live stream isn't. I'm like always talking trash to myself. Isn't crazy super prepared. I actually want to make a really long video about this, but to be honest, I don't think I have all the information I need yet to really be able to talk about this responsibly. Maybe that's the right word. Hey, what's up, Chuck? But I kind of just wanted to give my thoughts on it so far and kind of, do a little chat with you. But I've actually for a long time I've tried to go over the CPI, right? The Consumer Price Index. In case you don't know what CPI is, it's essentially like consumer goods. I think there's like 80,000 or so. There's about 80,000 or so consumer goods that they track. But now, by the way, CPI, a lot of people think that inflation is pretty much all about CPI, which it isn't. I mean, it is in a sense of, the cost of goods going up and down does, have an effect on, the inflation rates and everything like that. But from my understanding, there's a few things that come into play here. I kind of wish I could have this conversation with someone who's an economist or something like that, instead of spending all this time reading articles and trying to figure it out for my own. Oh, by the way, today we're drinking some lunar transit. We're keeping with the moon theme. Can't remember what we had yet last time. It was something moon related. It's from Epic Brewing. I think that's a Salt Lake City, Utah, and Denver. Oh, it's Salt Lake City and Denver, Colorado. Interesting. Actually like Epic pretty much, but no, that's not for you. And my little puppin with me. Hey, say hi, puppy. Say hello. My Banksy girl. Anyways, but the weird thing about CPI is the government won't tell you what they're looking at. They just tell you we're looking at a bunch of stuff and don't worry about it. We may change it. And by the way, it's changed quite a bit too. So, yeah, the CPI isn't really an adequate measure of inflation. But CPI is tied to the income of about 80 million people, or wait, 80,000 product? Oh man, I might be mixing up numbers now. I believe it's about 80 million citizens that actually are reliant off of that CPI, the people that are on Social Security benefits and food stamps and military recipients and that sort of stuff. So it is important. But there's also a few other things from what I understand that comes into play when it comes to inflation. Money supply, right? And that's the one thing that we've known, right? 40% of all the money in existence was printed last year, right? So that's pretty intense. Now, I also want to put into, just to let people know, we're nowhere near the inflation rates of, say, Greece, right? 13,000% increase in a month. We have Germany, right? This is right after they oh no, this is before. This is after World War One. I think this is right after World War One. Yeah, and then they had to print all this money to pay for the war. I think they did the same thing in the 40s as well. Maybe I should actually read these articles. I just pulled it up because I wanted to show what actual crazy inflation would look like, right? 313 million% in a month. Now, obviously, you know, we know about the Zimbabwe, right? Venezuela is the most recent one that we know about, right? But we're not quite here yet. But we might be at the beginning of our hyperinflation. So, from like I said, from my understanding, money supply plays a factor. CPI plays a factor. Industrial output, right? How much crap are we making in the United States? Employment rate. How fast money transfers from one person to another, right? Are people holding on to the money? Are they afraid to spend it? You know, all of that kind of comes into play. But we currently haven't, I mean, we've seen a little bit, right? We've seen wood and lumber and a lot of this stuff go up. But I mean, we have seen a drastic hyperinflation. I mean, pretty drastic hyperinflation in some areas. And that is real estate, right? Real estate's crazy. You know, there's people buying houses for 400 grand, and the next year it's worth 480, and the next year it's 510, and the next year it's 580. You know, it's just like nuts. Which, you know, the high demand of prices obviously is going to increase, you know, construction costs. But we've also seen a hyperinflation in stock markets as well, right? I mean, since we did you mean the S&P 5000? Let's see, 5 years. So look, we're down to 2,304 upwards of. So we've doubled, you know, essentially since our crash. So this is a hyperinflation, and I think a lot of this is caused by all the money that's being put in instead of people buying cars. And I mean, people are buying cars. Cars is another one that's gone up, right? In fact, my used car is worth like $9,000 more than it was like 2 years ago. In fact, I could have sold my car. I could sell my car at $150,000 more than I could have sold it 2 years ago at 40,000 miles. That's how crazy it is. But if you were to go to the United States, they're like, nah, man, we're not inflating it that much. Like, since 2018, they say it's only been 9.2%. 2019, we've only gone up 7.3%, you guys. Yes, we have added, just last year, we added 40% more money into the inflation. But, and again, who still has XYO? I actually still have my XYO. I don't know what to do with it. It's funny, I've been talking with Scott Shepard, kind of back and forth. I actually talked to Scott Shepard about this issue, and he seemed about the XYO issue, and he seemed pretty bummed about it, which was surprising. Like, he didn't know what I was talking about. And so I'm like, dude, let me talk to you about some actual, like, I have some ideas for that company that would help people not be pissed off at them as much. People that have been investing in them recently are not. But people that had, you know, I had $100,000 worth of XYO. It's worth about $8,000 now. So anybody who got in early is getting screwed over. So I'm not a big fan of XYO because of that. But Scott Shepard isn't even in XYO anymore, right? He just like split the company into 3 things and left, and he's not involved. He's like, I'm a dreamer, not a builder, or whatever. I don't know what he says. I can't remember. But anyways, I didn't mean to talk about XYO, but yeah. So obviously this is not right, right? 6%. So we're averaging like 3% a year since we've added all this money in. Now, I also think, I mean, once all that, from what I understand, once all that money actually hits consumer goods, that's where the inflation starts. Now, it wouldn't be that bad if we actually produced most of our stuff, but most of our inflation rates went to exports, you know, went to other, or imports, right? Went to paying other countries for their goods, and now we have that whole that's a whole another issue with the goods being docked and all that sort of stuff. But but yeah, the money that people are getting now are being put in the stock market, so that's also helping the goods like meat and eggs and all that sort of stuff kind of not go up. Um, but um, but yeah, something's obviously wrong. I think everybody knows it, but I think everyone's in the same boat of like, I don't know, what am I gonna do? We can't do anything. Um, but yeah, and I want to do a video on CPI and just specifically because there's so much shady stuff that goes on with CPI, and the government doesn't tell you what they. From what I understand, it's also they'll go into like Walmart and they'll take the value brand, so the very cheapest toothpaste, the very cheapest everything, and then that's one of the things that they do that's kind of shady of how they manipulate the prices of consumer price index goods, so or of the goods in general, right? So, yeah, obviously, you can buy. There you go. You can. It seems like as time goes on, people are able to make crappier. Like if you were to buy a box of cereal 10 years ago versus today, it's a lot less healthier for you. There's a lot more crap. Rice, right? They bleach rice. That just blows my mind. If they want to make it as cheap as possible. I mean, everyone wants to make their products cheap, but in doing so, it's not like they make things better; they make things worse. And all the CP&I is based off of the cheapest of things. And again, we don't technically know what products that they're looking at, but the fact that we are only gone up 6%. It's saying 6% between 20 and 21. 7.3% since 2019. That's just ridiculous. But yeah. And by the way, the reason why the government says that that they're not going to tell us with the CPI what that data is. The reason why they won't tell us what the products are is because they said, get this, they said they don't want people to know because they don't want companies comparing prices, and it could end up hurting the markets. What? That doesn't make any sense. You can just go on Amazon. You can go to the company's website. You can go to Walmart.com. You can figure this stuff out super easy. So it doesn't, like, all that information's out there. So they pretty much just don't want us to know. And the reason why is because they want to keep this number right here as low as possible. Because essentially, like, okay, if this was 15%, then essentially they would have to come out of pocket a ton more money because, again, the government has to pay for subsidies like school, like military, like food stamps, like, that sort of stuff, Social Security. So, so they have the government has a incentive to manipulate these numbers. They won't tell you what 80,000. I don't even know if it's 80,000 products anymore. How many goods are tracked in the CPI? Oh, there you go. We record about 80,000. Is that really 80,000 and 80 million? How many people rely on CPI? Is that a question? Is that the right question? 87% of the population. That doesn't make sense. Oh, I put 85%. 80% is based on expenditures, almost all urban, metropolitan, including... Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, that's not what I was asking. Um, oh my gosh. Subsidies, there we go. Embracing case represent. I should have had this stuff already, huh? At any rate, I don't know how many people, but it's a big chunk of the nation that will get affected instantly once these prices go up. Essentially, anybody who's living on a paycheck to paycheck base, right? I mean, people live in Social Security. They rely off of that income. So if the prices of goods get more expensive than what they're currently paid for, then they can't pay for them, which means it just ends up being a big problem, right? Yeah, I sold and bought back in, but didn't pay anything for the tokens. Should they average the items? Yeah, they should average the items, but they don't. And again, it's all secretive. They don't really want to tell you what they're doing. But they have changed this CPI. There's something in the company I work for called CPNI, and I keep almost saying it. But it's like customers' personal information or whatever, right? Which isn't what I'm talking about. But yeah, they won't. For whatever reason, they won't show us what they're marking, and it doesn't include things like what if we, what if I have a kid, and obviously things are so expensive now, you can't have one household with one job. I mean, you can, I guess, but normally it's like you have 2, 3, 4 jobs in the household. The husband and the wife are both working, and they need someone to take care of their kid. So you're gonna have to pay for someone to help with the kid, or so like things like that aren't covered. Childcare, and it's becoming more and more a have-to thing because people are having to work more and more. But yeah, CPI doesn't really measure the change in consumer prices as much as it does measure the cost of living. So that's why they're changing it all the time. I think, anyways. Who really knows? Almost America is being set up on purpose. Small business getting crushed, large corporations crushing it. Yeah. I mean, okay. I guess here's when I think we're gonna start seeing hyperinflation, and we're gonna start seeing goods and services crank up quite a bit. Is when people start. Well, first of all, we're not producing anything, so we're issuing debt in our own currency, and we're paying back that debt in our own currency, and the whole world is pretty much run off the United States dollar as well. So they're playing this game of like, hey, we own all of the money, so we can print as much as we want, and that's kind of their thought process, seemingly, is from what I gather, anyways. But yeah, and if you were to look at that CPI and go to, there's a lot of other countries, they're like, yeah, the United States, the way they do their CPI is bullcrap. And I know there's, and again, I'm doing research on this more and more, but I want to make a video on this to talk about it more specifically. But you'll see other countries that have better representations of inflation rates and stuff like that. But yeah, the CPI is not a measurement of rising prices as much as it does track consumer spending patterns that changes as the price changes, if that makes sense. From what I've gathered, right? But we are definitely not at a 7.3 inflation rate over the past 2 years. It's not counting this entire year, by the way, in this calculator, I believe. So I think it's actually saying 3.65% per year inflation. And the government targets 4%, by the way. So if they do 3 to 4%, that's pretty much what they target. And so they're like, yeah, we're good. don't worry about it. All the people that lost their jobs, all the businesses that got shut down, all the people not working for so many months, like all of that doesn't matter at all. In fact, we're doing better than the year before. Like, I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, and then if you also look like, if you were to dive into like the Department of Agriculture and if you were to look at the prices that they show increasing, the Department of Agriculture may show like a 40-50% increase in meat or beef or whatever, but it won't affect the inflation rate. If in fact, if you were to it'd be interesting to actually see what they again, I'm doing research on this, but it's just not accurate, and there's something broken, and I think a lot of, because everyone's putting it in stocks, I mean, like I said, I believe we have seen an inflation in form of car prices going up, house prices going up, stocks going up, Bitcoin going up. You know, even Elon Musk says his stock is too high, right? I mean, look how much. What's Nikola Tesla worth? Nikola Tesla company worth. What is this? Oh wait, Nikola is the name. In June of June, it was worth 23 billion. Their market cap right now is $4.49 billion. So yeah, it's gone quite a bit. But this is because it's a freaking crappy company. They're just a bunch of shysters, liars, manipulators. They don't even have a working product. Every single working product they've ever shown has been a lie, and yet it's still worth over still worth a $5 billion company, right? It was pushing. Let's see, we're at. Wait, let's do last year. So it was around 35. So yeah, we've obviously seen inflation. I mean, if we look at the altcoins markets as well, like why the frick is Dogecoin this much, right? Why is Shibu this much, right? These companies are garbage. And if you don't think Dogecoin is garbage, then tell me why it's not. I'd be curious to know. Tell me why Dogecoin is not garbage. Oh, because it's a meme coin? But what does it do? Why? You know, there's no answer. Jackson Palmer made this coin in freaking 15 minutes. To make fun, you know, this is a legit meme coin. There's $31 billion in a practical joke. And there's tons of coins like this that can do this, right? So I believe once this money, because most people invested in Bitcoin and crypto and stocks, they don't want to be, I mean, they don't just want to have millions of dollars in the bank. They want to have millions of dollars in the bank as well as has houses and cars, and they want to look baller or whatever the case, right? So eventually this, you know, I mean, let's say someone has, you know, 100 Bitcoin, it goes up to 100,000, and then eventually they're going to sell 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, I don't know. They're going to sell their Bitcoin for fiat currency, and they're going to buy stuff with it. Buy stuff from other countries that we don't produce that stuff from, where we're giving them money that is being devalued, so those goods and services are going to be increased, and that's when I think once the money starts dumping out of the stock market and dumping out of crypto, and people start buying goods and services, that's when I think we're going to start seeing a more hyperinflation. Do you think let's see, market's being set up on purpose? Yeah, and dude, I have like this growing conspiracy of China messing with us. I mean, they took over Hong Kong, they're taking over Taiwan, they're essentially saying anything in the South China Sea is theirs. They haven't technically brought troops and things yet, but no one's really stopping them. Everyone's like, yeah, do what you will. Yeah, you know, Vietnam did the Civil War thing back in the 40s, and yeah, I guess, whatever, do what you gotta do, you know. We're all over here on this side of the country, or the world, so we don't really care, right? But, and now China is getting rid of their entire currency system, and they're replacing it with a digital dollar, which essentially guarantees, I mean, it would not be a good thing if the United States said, we are now getting rid of the dollar, and we're making every single person sign up for a Bitcoin wallet, and all your taxes will be done with that Bitcoin wallet. Every transaction you'll have to do from that, because now they're essentially saying we're going to control the money, and we're going to know every single dollar that you spend on anything, right? Sorry, music's getting a little loud. It shows on my volume thing that the music's crazy loud. But then I watch my Zooms later, and my calls later, and I'm like, I don't really watch them, but I'll just see where I mostly go and just check out the volume, and it's like, I can never hear it. But yeah, I think China's, and who knows, it might be even a bigger conspiracy, right? When it comes to, what, you know, they may have done, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole yet, but, yeah, China's essentially creating their own version of Bitcoin, but it's going to be centralized, right? Obviously, and they're going to force everybody to use that cryptocurrency, which means every single purchase every dollar that you spend, the government's going to know about it, and they're going to be able to, you know, that's private information. But the United States may go down that route with their version of a digital dollar, right? I mean, yeah, it would be good for the Bitcoin price if the government said everyone needs a Bitcoin wallet, right? Because everything's on an open ledger and everything like that, right? But obviously they wouldn't do that because they want control. But we don't want somebody controlling you don't want somebody controlling every single. This just, I mean, if they put a centralized currency, it would put a lot of control on us, right? Do you think the USD will fall soon, like every other fiat currency? Not soon. So also, just let me kind of go down this other little rabbit hole really quick. The United States, our currency should have crashed a long time ago. And by the way, I don't think it's going to crash and go to zero, and our country is going to go into poverty. You know, we're going to be one of the poorest countries. I don't think that's going to happen. I just think it's going to be like 8 years, 10, 15 of just not fun. And the longer we continue this, the more it's going to take before we can correct our economy. But, you know, we're not producing a tons of goods and services. All we're really doing is just moving money around. You know, where's the value in that? But since everything's based off the United States dollar, it's working out in the United States' benefit. In fact, if you were to look, this would be interesting, you know, if you look at all the wars that the United States has been in, essentially, if anybody tries to peg oil to anything but the United States dollar, the United States invades them. And then they peg it back to the dollar. China right now they said, nope, we're not using the U.S. dollar, we're using the yuan or whatever, and we're not messing with them. It's China, right? But all these other smaller countries, yeah, we'll invade the crap out of them, and then force them to use our currency. And so our currency is backed by tons of countries. By the way, another rabbit hole to go down is the fact that China pretty much like runs all of South Africa, in the sense of every single country in South Africa, with the exception of one. China has built roadways, electricity, some power plants. So they have their fingers in a lot of pots, right? But yeah, I don't think the United States dollar is really going to fall like every other currency, but there will be a transition, because the United States dollar, we were on the gold standard in 1944, right? Bretton Woods Agreement, and then we technically got off of that in 1971, 71, whatever, Richard Nixon, right? Was that June, July of 1970? When did opaque. Oops. Opaque. Oh my gosh. I have like a typewriter keyboard and it's really difficult to... 1971. What was the month though? I don't know why I want to know this. Month and year. August 15th, 1971. Anyways, so he took us off the gold standard, and then we weren't on anything. And then I believe in 1974... 1974. Oh, this is interesting. Untold story behind Saudi Arabia's 41-year-old U.S. debt secret. Ooh, I want to read that later. Come on, Bloomberg. Really? There's no article here? Anyway, so we signed an agreement with Saudi Arabia, essentially said nobody's buying any oil unless it's with the United States dollar from you guys. And Saudi Arabia's like, okay, cool. So so pretty much since then, during the 1973 war, Arab members of the organization posed an embargo against the United States. Retaliation to of the supply of military. Oh, interesting. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it was 1974 though, maybe right after this problem happened. But yeah, so since then we've been on pretty much the oil standard, and so yeah, any country that wants to peg oil to something else, we just invade them. We've done it to a few countries, including Afghanistan, right? Right before we invaded Afghanistan, put oil on the euro, and they were going to sell it out of the euro, right? Oh, we invaded them. I mean, for other reasons, right, or whatever, right? But it's just kind of surreal how often that takes place. So I don't know. I mean, what would be really cool is if we moved away from oil, and then maybe we converted it to energy, and having energy be the new currency. And that would incentivize people to create energy at cheaper prices, and I mean, what we can do if we were able to produce 100 times more energy than the world does right now, we could just do a lot more with that. But it's costs a lot of money. It's a big business, right? So if we maybe if they went, because I don't think the United States dollar is going away. Maybe it might down the road and might be converted into a digital version, and the USD as we know it, because just like our dollar, the United States dollar since 1776 has ended many times. But I think 1907 was the biggest flash crash that we did, and then 1913 we did we created the Fed, and then we went on the gold standard in 44, and we went off of that in 71, and now we're on the oil standard pretty much. And I think eventually, because we are moving away from oil, and so the government's going to have to do something, and so the United States dollar may crash, and they may replace it with something else that's pretty much the same thing, and just restarting the whole thing, but eventually we're going to have to pay all these countries back for all the crap that we've been buying from them. And yeah, so I think the pain hasn't even come yet. I think we just keep delaying it. But what do you think about the index BTC USD / I don't even know what this is, man. Here, I'm gonna put this into Goggle. Oh, the M1 supply. Okay, let me read this now. What do you think about the BTC / the... I guess I don't know the question. What do you mean, what do I think about it? I think, obviously, it's not good, right? We keep printing more and more, so the more that we print, that's one of the causes of inflation, right? So the more that we print, the worse it's going to get. but there's a lot of things that it's not just one thing. It's not like just printing money causes inflation. It's not like just jobs. It's not like just production. It's not like just money movement. Like there's a lot of factors that come into place, but I do agree that eventually things will be valued in Bitcoin. You're going to see the euro, the United States dollar, the peso, the Bitcoin. It's going to be one of the currencies. But I think it's one of those currencies that you're going to want to hold. Bitcoin, rather, right? Just because of all the things Bitcoin is, right? The consensus, the decentralization, the 21 million coins, all that, open network, all that sort of stuff, right? But yeah, Dogecoin will save us. Wait, I got one more. I actually do hold some Doge. I bought it like hella ago as a meme, as a joke, I don't know, it's like one of those beloved tokens. But definitely not throwing tons of money into it now. That's crazy. Is there going to be a crypto winter? For sure, absolutely. And maybe not this winter. But I do think also crypto is very tied to the S&P 500. So I think if stocks crash, Bitcoin will follow it. We haven't broken that yet. So I do think, the next 3, 4, 5 months, and up until Q1 of next year is going to be really good for crypto. But I just don't. I'm just guessing, right? You could say it's a educated guess, right? For those of you who know crypto's history. We're very used to 660% increase, 52% decrease, and then it popped back up to a 500% increase in 65 days. Then it went down 37% in 51 days. Then it pumped up from 68 cents to $30, 3,000 increase in 2 months, and then it crashed over a half a year, 93%, and then it pumped up again. This is 2012 we're at, right? 229, then we crashed big time, all the way, I don't have that, down to, 70%, 88 days, right? Then it pumped back up 1,600% in about a half a year again. And that was, this is when I got in this bull run, but went from 1,100 all the way down to 175, and this is the one that most people know about, 2017 up to 20,000, and then we've been doing the crash again. So like this is a very common thing that Bitcoin's been doing, and it could go up to 100,000, could go up to 250,000, I don't know, and then it might crash from 250 to 40,000, I don't know, 60,000 or something like that, right? And then people are like, wow, dude, it went from 250,000 all the way into 50,000, crashed, right? Well, it's kind of been doing this for a long time, so this is a lot of where my estimations are coming from. I know it's not a word. Sometimes I make up a word. My wife corrects me. I'm like, I know. But yeah, so I think the end of this year is going to be big, and then after that, who really knows? But yeah, kind of nerve-wracking. And we're also kind of we've never been in this position before. Bitcoin's never been in this position before, where a bunch of people are printing the crap out of money, and so yeah, I don't know. I don't think a 20,000 to 60,000 is the bull market, though. People are looking at 3,000 to 60, but if you look at the tops of each one, we were at 1,100. We did a 20x there, right? Back in 2013, we're at 230 up to 1100, right? So we've done more than like a, oh, this is like a 4 or 5x, right? But it's a gamble for sure. Here's my little whatever. We're on the 6th bull run, or 6 bull runs. We're technically on the 7th right now. We'll see what ends up happening. But I do think, like, hey, if the economy crashes, it may take Bitcoin with it, and I would, like, a lot of people are like, oh, they're. By the way, if you are into crypto and you're on like social media, it's kind of surreal how crazy social media is. I kind of feel like I shouldn't even be on it, just because there's so many people that are just so stuck in their ways that, like, there's a lot of people on that if you like any project but Bitcoin, you're just an idiot who doesn't know anything. And it's like, what? To me, that's like saying, you know, oh, we found out the internet could do this email thing, and email's the only purpose of the internet. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you just created a new technology. Just because I do think Bitcoin's the best, you know, when it comes to money, I don't think a single project comes anywhere close to it, but I do think there's a lot of need for blockchain technology. I don't think blockchain technology is like the answer to everything. In fact, it would ruin a lot of things. It's a really slow, expensive data server if you kind of look at it that way. But if you start throwing, you know, money into it, and it's we're pegging essentially energy costs to money, you know, then it's a little bit different. But yeah, Luxo's been, I haven't looked at Luxo. Yeah, 23. From where was it at? Like $5. $5 in July. Yeah, not too shabby. I think it reached up to, yeah, a little over $30, $32. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen with Luxo. And here's also the thing with Luxo as well, is it might not do well for a couple months. I mean, it may, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I think the thing that helps me out with crypto is I feel like I'm pretty good at finding projects where there's actually coders building something that means something. They're not stupid, shady, crappy people, you know, building value in the world. Like, that'd be a good video to make, actually, because there's like a lot of check marks that I need to check off. I need to read the white paper, need to see the advisors, need to see who's running it, need to see, you know, how the tokenomics. I just need to see how the companies run to see if and essentially, if anybody's being greedy, that's pretty much I don't give a crap about your company anymore to me. You used to run a Ponzi scheme. Okay. I don't care what your project is. You're a piece of garbage person who tries to steal money from others, right? But yeah. Yeah, I think Luxo's definitely gonna be a winner. By the way, I've been talking with Fanzone. I don't know if you guys know Fanzone. It's actually a company that was built. Porsche has a company, I believe. This is what it is. So Porsche has a company that they go around and they find things to invest in. So they have a branch off of Porsche that goes around trying to find cool investments, right? They'll invest in Uber, they'll invest in Facebook, they'll invest in things like that. You know, groundbreaking technology type of stuff. And Fanzone is one of those things. But they're making a bunch of, yeah, so far they have a German soccer team and stuff like that, but they're going to be adding more, and I may end up doing an interview with them. But yeah, so if you do have any questions for Fanzone and you know who they are, throw them in the comments, and yeah. Wow, they haven't even been to their website before. I mean, I have, but on the phone. It just looks a lot different on the phone, not on a computer. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, just for those who are wondering, isn't there 40 million tokens? Yeah. Let me talk about the token release for a second. But I actually talked about it last week as well, but I didn't mean to bring this up. There was a date on Monday that essentially the government needed to pay a bunch of its workers Essentially, anyone who gets money from the government, contract workers or military, right? Anyone who's paid by the government. Government employs a crap ton of people, right? They were going to be unable to pay off that debt, which means the United States would have defaulted on their debt for the first time in history, and that would have taken place tomorrow. But recently, Biden signed a bill, so now they released 28.9, or wait, that was like $500 billion. There we go. 400 billion. They borrowed just a little 400 billion that will be exhausted by December 3rd. That is pretty funny, actually. I mean, in a we're all screwed kind of way. He printed off $480 billion, $500 billion, and that literally is going to take us 4, 5, 6 weeks. We need $480 billion to pay off 6 weeks of debt. That should be scary in itself. We're printing $1.3 trillion. Oh, so we can pay off our debts for the next 3 or 4 months, is what you're saying? 5 months? Do you think $1 trillion could give us a whole 4 months? Anyways, I'm being trolly now, but yeah. And then when it comes to the token launch, Fabian actually talked about this in our interview, and I guess you could go to... I actually did this last stream as well. And freaking Luxo Cat, he's like... I referenced a tweet that he did referencing an interview that I did. But it's marked right... Oh man, I tweet way too much. Doop 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 doop. Where are we? September 29th? Is it this long ago? Oh, check this out. I've been messing... it's like crappy quality. I've been messing around with building these 3D landscapes. Obviously my ocean's messed up. I've been trying to figure out the water. But this has nothing to do with crypto. I don't even know why I'm showing it to you. I scrolled past it, that's why. But kind of cool being able to I built a whole island with an ocean and trees and all that sort of stuff. I really want to get into designing 3D games, building virtual environments. Actually, that's actually what I want to do. Is I want to build VR worlds and stuff like that, and build a virtual studio for me. That's what I want to do. And I actually did build a studio a while ago, but I need to get the green screens and all that stuff figured out. But I feel like if I really get to it, within a couple months, I could kind of have a gnarly thing going on. Maybe it was in my legs. But essentially, I guess I don't need to bring it up. What it was, though, was Fabian pretty much told us... I don't know why I really want to find this. Fabian pretty much said that... okay, let's just go to the tokenomics so we can see. Luxo.io. Past RICO. So this is kind of where their tokenomics are. They have 100 million Luxo altogether. They currently have about 15 million that was done in private sales, public sales, ICOs, and then whatever agreement they did with KuCoin to do they did a little ICO token thing with KuCoin. So this is where all these tokens have come, is from that. Now they do say they're expecting about 35 million tokens by, now obviously look, it says Q4 2021. Oh, they actually have Q4 2021. Interesting. Somebody told me it was on their website. They're like, Q4 2021. I'm like, I don't think I've ever read that anywhere. I don't think this was here. Let's see. What's that? Now I'm curious. Wayback Machine. I'm curious what they had marked, or if this is a recent change. Because I think originally it was Q2 of 2021. Really? You gonna be like that? All right, whatever. Why are you being mean to me? The 20th. There's a snapshot. Let's go to it. Whatever. I swear this wasn't here like a couple months ago. But at any rate, I haven't heard anything official, by the way. There was rumors. I saw some screenshots on Marjorie Hernandez's Zoom call. I don't know. But yeah, 35 million. So that would mean that they're going to end up putting about 20 million into supply, which could end up affecting the price, right? But essentially what Fabian said was, hey, if they sold 35 million, if they sold, 25 million, whatever, that's great. But essentially, what's not going to happen is they're not going to release 20 million tokens and give it to like the owners and have them cash out or whatever. The supply is 100% there to help build this project and make it. Okay, so I guess let me try to explain it how Fabian did. When he was with, can Luxo reach $1,000 to stake a cycle? I'd be freaking stoked if it did. I don't know. I'm not good with price predictions. I do think eventually it absolutely will, but time, who knows. But Fabian said when they created Ethereum, they got broke really quick. And if it wasn't for the crazy price increase, from $4 to, hundreds, I can't remember. It's the top price in 2020, but was it over 1,000? I can't remember for some reason. But whatever it was, that's the reason why Ethereum is still alive, is because that bull run took place. But if it didn't take place, they would have been broke, and the company wouldn't have been able to push forward with the project. And so essentially what Fabian wants to do is he wants to have enough money to help build the project. And he actually said, in his own words, he said, hey, we may end up burning, and he gave the number. He's like, we may end up burning 40 million tokens when everything is said and done. He doesn't really care about the money as much as he does. He wants to build the project and have it be a valuable company that actually has, value in people's lives and makes people's lives easier and better, or whatever the case, right? So that's what he's focused on. So all of these tokens are going to be building the project, not like pocketing people's pocketbooks. And people say that all the time, and I'm kind of one of those people that I just think crypto's got me this way, by the way. I try not to be. I used to be a very open-minded person, and I'm not anymore, in the sense that every single thing I hear, I'm trying to find where the scam is. I'm like, okay, where are you trying to steal my money? Where are you trying to lie? And it's really easy for me to find weird things that companies are doing. Not necessarily saying that they're shady, but like, you did a private sale for 25% of your tokens, and you didn't tell us who bought it, and you're releasing a pre-mine, and you didn't tell it to anybody? That's pretty shady, right? But Fabian's not done that. Everything that he's done has been to try to build this project. He's not greedy, and when you talk to him about price, he kind of is just like, you know what, when it comes down to it, we want to build a great project, and I don't know. So you do kind of need to trust the owner, in a sense that he could screw you over and screw the project over. But and I've met a lot of people that knew Fabian, and anytime I meet somebody who's from Ethereum back in the day or whatever. Well, I guess I've only asked 2 people. I don't run into tons of people, but both people said they knew Fabian. He was a great guy, and he was a very talented coder, seemingly very honest, upfront. Everyone has nothing but positive things to say, and I really like that he's working with his wife as well. I don't know. I like Fabian because he seems like a great guy who actually gives a crap about making this world a better place. So yeah. So who knows what's going to end up at, and they may only end up releasing 5 million tokens or whatnot. But those 5 million tokens aren't going to be given to a few people, or 20 million, or 10, or whatever, that are going to go on the market and sell it and crash the price. Why would Fabian do that, right? He screw his own company over and his own brand over and stuff like that. So, and I believe he also said this in the interview as well, that the tokens are there to give to, you know, what if, okay, let's say they need to give, you know, 500,000 tokens to Nike, but they didn't have the token supply set up correctly. Maybe there's only 21 million. They're trying to do Bitcoin, right? And there's 15 million. Now there's only 6 million left, and now they launched it, and now they don't have enough money to, you know, team up with good brands and stuff like that. And do you think, by the way, Nike, if they end up getting, $50 million, $100 million in Luxo tokens, do you think Nike's like, yeah, we just made $100 million, sell? No, they're gonna be like, cool, we're gonna use this because we've talked to you in building, crypto kicks or whatever the case is. So the money, the tokens that do get pushed in will get pushed to people that are actually gonna help build the project and make it a better project and more well known and all that sort of stuff. It is kind of crazy when you look at like their about us. We've already worked with Chanel, right? I mean, Dematerialized has, right? If you go to Dematerial, well, I don't need to keep going these things, but Dematerialized has already put up some Chanel NFTs. Obviously, Dematerialized is Marjorie Hernandez's company, who's married to Fabian Vogelsteller. So Dematerialized is going to be partnering with Luxo, so you can kind of know that Chanel is using Luxo already. I mean, obviously nothing official or whatever. I mean, it's for sure official. It happened, but if you were to ask Fabian, if I said everything I said to you and said, so you're working with Chanel, right? He'd have to say, well, can't confirm or deny or whatever, right? But yeah, which means, and then right now, by the way, they are, oh crap. Oh my gosh, I miss it. I'm so freaking bad at this. Hold on. They're doing a drop. Oh crap, it's tomorrow. Oh my gosh. All right, tomorrow at Pacific Standard. What's that? 10? Yeah. So they're doing a drop tomorrow, which, by the way, if you don't have a Dematerialized account, I would follow them. I would go to... It's always like them. There you go. I'd go to thedematerialized.com. Oh, it's already logged me in. On the bottom, though, it's going to say enter beta code. Oh, see right here. The Fendi guy, right? So you're gonna need to punch in a code. So you essentially need to go. I went here and I just sent them a message, and then they gave me the code, and then I was able to sign up with my email. So if you want to get this drop tomorrow, go to their website, ask for the code. They should give it to you really quick. Oh, weird. They don't have the message thing anymore. Just message under this. How do I get a code? I'll message for you. There. So hopefully they will have answered this if you're wondering by the time you get to this post. But how do I always end up talking about Luxo? Every single freaking Zoom or freaking whatever this is live stream. Anyway, so they're doing a shoe thing. They're not doing it with Nike, but you can kind of, Nike's probably going to end up partnering with them, right? So this is crazy. All the big names in here, and these are people that have been partnered for a long time too, for a couple year or two. I don't know. So who knows what else is going to be out there. They also said when they launch their main net, they're going to launch it with a couple of really cool partnerships and projects. So we may hear about this stuff here in the next couple of months. But yeah, I have kind of gotten to the point though where I'm not really chasing these nightly gains, weekly gains, whatever. I'm finding, because I mean, if I were to go and if I just had $1,000, but I would have put it in 200 into, you know, Ethereum, into, you know, Ethereum at $86, Cardano at 3 cents. I mean, luckily I got on the Polkadot train pretty good. I found, I think I actually held every single one of their largest pushes, right? But I was doing that stupid thing where, oh wow, I just, you know, 15x my money in the past couple months. I'm gonna take all that money out and I'm gonna put it in this project that should 3x. Oh, it just dropped 80%. Now I'm gonna take that money out and drop it. And I was playing this gambling game, right? And that's where social media messes me up too, is because everyone's playing it, and all you hear on social media is how everyone's winning, everyone's doing such a great job, everyone's killing it, everyone's a millionaire, except for you, because you're an idiot and you're not gambling like they are, is what social media makes you feel like. So I'm kind of done with that. I'm not really swayed by that stuff anymore. I don't care if someone who's like a millionaire with Bitcoin tells me I'm stupid because I like altcoins, or you know, this person says, oh, I guarantee it's gonna 100x within the next couple months, right? Well, let me go to the project and look at it and see if I think it will. Yeah, Luxo's a very long-term hold for me. And as soon as they end up launching their mainnet, I'm gonna put most of my tokens on staking rewards so I can make more Luxo, right? But yeah, I'm just hoping this economy train goes for the next 4, 5, 6 months so we can I mean, how cool would it be if it pumped up for like, because I will also take out profits because I want to buy a house too. I also don't want to buy a house month to month making payments on it. I want to buy the house outright. I don't want to make payments on anything. And I know that's stupid thinking, because if you were really to look at the economy, debt is actually is a good thing. Debt is capital. I'm for some reason I'm blanking on the right word, but the more debt you have, it's the, you know, the people that are worth tons of money, they're also that much in debt. They just keep buying stuff. Rich Dad Poor Dad is very much that way. He's crazy in debt because he doesn't care. The more debt he can go in, the more assets he can buy, which means the more he's worth. And I understand that, I guess, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Who really knows? And if anybody did, right? If anybody actually did, here's also what I think. Yes, I have looked at Ariana 20, and I hold Ariana, actually. Ariana is a, in case for people who don't know, Ariana is a fashion company that's being built off of Luxo as well. I think it's actually Ariana. Is it 2 N's? Ariana. Is it just Ariana.io? Is it Ariana 20? I haven't been to their site in a while. Oh yeah, they're a token. That's right. I can look at it that way. Aria, not Ariana. Oh no, it is Ariana. So yeah, they're being built off of Luxo. I don't know how I found that out though. Oh, I think it says it in Luxo. Does it? Where did I find this out at? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's how I found it. And the Fabricant. And all these companies, actually. Anyways, but okay, here's when it comes down to it, when I hear all these stories about people making tons of money, the most successful trader by far in the last 20 years, publicly, You know, who knows what people are doing behind doors and don't ever report on anything, the secret billionaires, right? But the most successfully traded fund this, you know, in the last 100 years has been Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett averages about 20% a year. So I can get all depressed because I haven't turned $1,000 into $1 million in just a couple of weeks like a lot of these NFT guys can. I'm freaking destroying Warren Buffett on his numbers, right? By the way, I think this is where all these fake gurus come from. I could make a video and be like, I increased my net worth by 57x in the past, you know, whatever. I'm a 15 times better trader than Warren Buffett, or I don't know. How long have you been doing this? Don't worry about it. 20 years? Nah, don't worry about it, man. The code is the newer tweet. They just tweeted an hour ago or so. Oh, for Dematerialized? Oh, there it is. Yeah, you're right there. Here, let me erase my tweet so I don't sound like a freaking idiot. I already did. Look, I should have deleted this. I tried on the 9th, because look, it says drop 9. Where does it say that? There we go. And so for some reason in my mind it was the 9th, so I got up on the 9th and I was like, what's going on? I'm like, am I missing this? I'm like, I don't see anything. And they're like, it drops on the 18th. Oops, my bad. I look like a freaking idiot. But yeah, you're right. The code's right here. Let's see, exchange. For rep, the pump is ready. They've accumulated for the last week. I feel like I know what that is. What is it? Oh, Augur. Wow. They're still around, huh? Anyways, I'm like blanking. What the freak does Augur do? Oh, okay. This reminds me of what's that one? Oh my gosh, there's another company. You can't do it in the United States, but it's really popular, and you can bet on the Bitcoin price on a daily basis if it goes up or down. Is it going up or is it going down? And you can bet how much money you want to put on it. That kind of reminds me of that. Anyways, equity. Yes, that's the word I was looking for earlier. But yeah. So, okay, by the way, I do want to say one thing. I've been talking about making a video on Ross Albright for a long time, and I got to the point where there was some pieces of information that I seemingly didn't know. There's a big chunk of lies that are going on, and either Ross Albright's family is lying about it or the government, which probably the government, right? But I would guess Ross's family is stretching some truth too. I don't know. But when I came to ask him about it, they haven't replied, and they have taken down a bunch of videos on their page, and they blocked all their comments as well. And so now I'm like, what the freak is going on? And they won't. And they were talking to me a while ago, but now they won't anymore. And I'm pretty sure the family of Ross owns this. So like for example, right here, Railroaded. It's a 6-part series. They got rid of episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. They won't tell me why. When you go and actually watch the series, oh my gosh, the comments are now there. Oh, the comments are back. Oh yeah, I replied that yesterday. Why'd you take down episode 4? What was I looking at? Maybe it was their Twitter? Oh wait, here I know what it was. It was this video they did. Yeah, why are comments turned off? In some of their videos, they turned off comments. This doesn't make sense. Anyways. I'm still doing research on that. But you have to understand, there's like 20 things that seems bullcrap to me that have been shown as evidence of one side or the other saying... if you go to freeross.org and look at all the rebuttals that they have, I actually did research on those rebuttals, and like more than half of them don't make any sense and aren't true. So anyways, I don't know really what to put in the video, and I'm trying to get to talk to some of Ross's family, or I got into contact. There's a guy who lives like a few blocks away, actually, like a half a mile away from me, and he was the they called him the grandpa, right? Grandpa. Why am I looking all this stuff up? Grandpa Silk Road arrest. Oh my gosh. I'm blanking on his name. This guy. Silk Road for murder for hire. No, he was never a murder for hire, but whatever. Come on, give me his name. Give me his name. Come on, guy. Anyways, I was in contact with him, and then I asked him a question that apparently pissed him off, and he's been ignoring me. But anyways, it's still coming. I mean, I don't know, dude. It's so long, guys. I've read like 1,500 pages of court documents, and there's just so much stuff. I just don't know what the truth is, and I can't get anyone to talk to me, so it's been really difficult. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna take off for today. It was kind of a random catch up with you guys, I guess, but oh, it's an India Pale Ale. What makes it Indian? It's got the Utah Arches on it. Anyways, appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next week, and yeah, have a good one. Take care.